Greetings, Fire Chargers, Darkblade here, and in this video, I will show you how the Latin noun system works. Now, this is a basic chart I wrote. As you can see, the dimensions are case and number, which I combined into one dimension, and the specific category goes. The first declension is mainly feminine nouns, though there are some that refer to male occupations. Those are masculine, but all of them go like this. The nominative singular form, that's the subject form when there's only one of them, is a, spelled a. The genitive singular is I, as is the dative form. It's spelled A-E. By the way, the genitive is generally used when you you can use it for possession or like the subject or object of nouns that have an action or doing something sense to them. And the dative is like for indirect objects. Accusative. That's your direct object, and also the object of nearly all prepositions and the subject of infinitive verbs. The ablative is a. So this is a short, this is a long. The ablative case is used for like going away from places and also being in places. You also use it for like the stuff that's accompanying something or the object that's being used to perform an action. Now the plural. The nominative is I, arum, is, as, is. According to Wiktionary, it's a bit more complex when you have like first declension nouns borrowed from Greek. They follow like a mixture of their native Greek endings and the Latin endings, but that didn't appear in the Everything Learning Latin book by Richard E. Pryor, and this is what I'm covering. The second declension is mainly masculine nouns. Some of them are neuter and are of neuter gender, and they differ in some places. For example, the nominative singular is us for the masculines and for the neuters. There's some masculines end in spelled er, and some of them, those are some masculines, and some of them drop the r, the e in a stem change and just add the rest of these onto the r. Some of them don't and keep the er together. The genitive singular ending for the second declension is e, spelled with the letter I. This is the case in both the masculines and neuters. The dative singular is o, for the accusative singular, and o for the ablative singular. Now the nominative singular is e, except in the neuter where it's a. Orum is the genitive plural, is for the dative plural and for the ablative plural as well, and the accusative plural is os, except in the neuter where it's a. This touches on something called the double neuter rule, where the nominative and accusative forms are always identical in neuter nouns, and in the plural forms, those nominative accusative endings are a, always end in a. Now the third declension. There is actually no predictable pattern to the third declension's nominative singular ending, and by extension there is no predictable pattern to the accusative singular ending of neuter nouns. By the way, with this second declension, it's a little more complex than this. And again, this complexity comes courtesy of words borrowed from Greek. Apparently, some words borrowed from Greek use os, which is the Greek nominative singular ending for the masculine, and on for the neuter, and also using on for the accusative singular, like that. Now, this is the third declension. Starting with the genitive sing. By the way, most third declension nouns have have stem changes. So that's why you especially need the nominative and the genitive forms, which are cited in the dictionary. Is genitive in the singular, dative singular is e, accusative singular is m, except when neuter, in which case it's just the same as the nominative and there's no pattern for that. And the ablative singular is es, in non-neuter, and a in neuter. There's for the genitive plural, ibus for the dative plural and the ablative plural, along with es for the nominative accusative plural and a for the accusative plural and neuters. The fourth declension. Almost all of these are masculine. The main exceptions are manus, hand, and domus, house. They go us, we, u, us, ibus, ibus. By the way, the supine forms of verbs, that's the fourth principal part, those are fourth declension in neuter nouns that exist in the accusative and ablative singular. Those are all fourth declension accusative or ablative neuter nouns. And supines only have accusative and ablative singular forms. For example, no, I actually won't give an example. Next is the fifth declension, the smallest declension. All of these are feminine, except dies, the word for day, which is masculine. The ending is es, a, m, es, erum, ebus, es, ebus. There are also some third declension I stem nouns. These are like regular third declension nouns, except there are some differences. The ablative singular ending is e, spelled with the letter I in the neuter gender. The neuter nominative and accusative plurals are ia instead of just a, and the genitive plural and across all genders is ium instead of just